Welcome, dear listeners. My name is Nagma,
And I'm DL.
and welcome to Broadcasts from Elsewhere, where we talk about movies you may not hear about elsewhere. Today, we're covering a wonderful sci-fi film from 1999 called My Favorite Martian.
It sure is something.
This is definitely my co-host's favorite movie that we've covered so far. Absolutely.
You said you liked this movie, and I felt like you said that you genuinely enjoyed this movie. You said it wasn't your favorite, but that you liked it a lot. And I feel like when you have that one friend who has like really weird character crushes, and they're just like, "Oh my god, it's my man," and you're like, "That's Donkey Kong." That's how I feel. Because, like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Okay, look, in my defense, this... it's not a good movie. I'll give it that. It's not a good movie.
At least you acknowledge that.
But it's kind of fun. It's silly. It's
got fun moments. It does. But I don't get what you mean by, like, liking this movie that much at all. But... there are some fun moments. I had more fun with this than I did with Leprechaun, and probably more fun than with Evil Bong. Genuinely, I'm just mostly just making fun of you. But
for those who may not be aware, this is actually based off an old sitcom from the '60s that only ran for 3 seasons. But for some reason, they decided let's make a movie out of it.
Yeah,
from the Disney studio,
starring Christopher Lloyd and Jeff Daniels.
Yes, the not Jim Carrey.
I wrote that in my notes.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, it's not Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. So yeah, any other behind the scenes things you have to say about this movie before we jump into the plot?
They changed a lot about like the actual lore of like Mars, or at least the Martian, as far as like considering the sitcom. Because there was no talking suit, there was no like alien form. He just looked like a human, because that's what they did in the '60s. It was just like, oh, we'll slap a metal rod on your head and you'll be a Martian now.
Yeah, that's what they did for so many aliens in like the 50s, 60s, and even into the 70s with like Star Trek. They were just like, aliens just look like people but with weird outfits.
Yeah, exactly. and also like the alien gum, which we'll get into in a little while here, also did not make an appearance in the TV show. So
somebody in the writer's room was on plenty of drugs, because who the hell comes up with alien shape-shifting gum and a talking perverted suit?
Yes, of course. You know, the things you think of when you make a Martian movie.
This movie is like it left me baffled. Like, I just didn't know how to feel at many, many moments in the movie. It's so weird that they changed so much, and like I feel like this movie could have been better without the suit.
Yeah, I don't really think it added a lot
to
or really anything
much to the plot at all. Not that there is much of there's a plot. It's just stupid.
Yeah, there's a plot. It's just a lot of it is alien shenanigans.
It's very dumb alien shenanigans, yes. So, shall we get into the plot?
Absolutely.
All right, so we open on Mars with a rover and a NASA voiceover, and the rover is like, we can't find anything, and the camera pans to this giant Martian city, and then we cut to Santa Barbara. Because why would we want to see more of that ever in the entire movie?
Of course not. Come on. You want to see alien civilization in this movie about aliens?
I kind of do.
That's
actually
ridiculous.
I kind of want to see anything interesting. Okay, I'm being mean. I'm being too mean to this movie, and I realize that. But, like, it's not uninteresting. It's just a little overstimulating at times, but we'll get there. So, we cut to Santa Barbara with news reporter, main character. His name is Tim. And he's obviously played by Jeff Daniels. Things are just not going his way at work. especially when he implies that he has feelings for the very British daughter of Tim's very New Yorker boss.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out too, because like they don't even like accents don't match up at all, and also like the girl's name is Brace, not Grace with a G, Brace with a B. It's not even, that's not a name. I'm sorry.
Dental equipment.
That's dental equipment, exactly.
You don't name a child Brace. But Brace is like a total brat, and she's also the devil from Bedazzled. If you've seen the movie Bedazzled, I forgot the actress's actual name, but if you've seen the movie Bedazzled, which you should if you love stupid garbage, it's the same lady as Brace here. So Brace is just an obnoxious brat. And we cut to the news report about some shuttle launch, I guess.
Yeah, they were doing a shuttle launch from like NASA's doing a new shuttle launch, and for some reason they put Jerry Garcia, which is the singer from the Grateful Dead. They put his ashes on the shuttle for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. It has no fucking relevance to the plot whatsoever, but they're just like, oh, random lore drop, by the way.
Sure, I guess.
But like, yeah.
So I wrote this down because it was kind of funny to me, but this guy named Billy, who she keeps yelling for, like, she just keeps, there's a running gag where she yells for him, and he'll walk up, and she'll like spit gum in his hand, and the first time this happens, she spits gum in his hand, and he goes, "I love show business."
Yeah, I think he just likes being spit on, but
yeah, I think he might have he might have. Who is this movie for? That I wrote that way later in my notes, but like, I'm sorry to skip around, but like, this is a Disney movie, but it's also got like a lot of like inappropriate stuff in it, and like, what is happening?
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's not exactly for kids, despite being the exact kind of thing you would expect to be for kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is like, oh yeah, like toilet humor and this kind of stuff, but then like just. But
also some like innuendo.
Yeah,
stuff
and like an entire scene where a character is canonically naked. Like we don't see anything, but yeah. So basically Tim is like feeding her lines, and it's going pretty well, and then he fucks up, and like the simp that he is, just says, "You're beautiful," and she repeats the line to her like co-hosts on the air, and he immediately gets fired.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the NASA guy that she's interviewing, but yeah, just I like how she didn't like even like think about it for like a second. She just immediately repeats it too, like, yeah, girl.
Like, I feel like both of the people in this situation are stupid. And also the guy, the NASA guy she's interviewing is pretty creepy, but like, so many guys are creepy in this movie towards her, and it's weird because it's like, I don't like this girl, but obviously I don't want this to happen to her, and it's like, is it supposed to be funny that she's getting sexually harassed because she's a brat? Like, I don't get it.
They probably think so.
Yeah.
It's the 90s. Sexual harassment is cool now, okay?
God. I know. So then we cut to NASA for like 2 seconds in a scene that doesn't really do or say much. And then we cut back to Tim driving in the middle of nowhere. Where is he? Why? Is the news...
Yeah, it looks like he's driving like on the hill or something. Like
yeah.
One of those like where they have like those mountains or hills where it's just like a twisty like BS, you know?
Is the city that like, are they different cities? That like, does he live in a different city than he works in? Like, I mean, I guess that's the thing that happens, but like, if you're a news reporter, you'd think you could probably get, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
No, you see, it's simple. The news station is at the top of a mountain.
Why would it be there? That doesn't make sense.
That's it's the news station of the gods. You got Hermes up there, you know? Come
Sure, of course. So there's a spaceship. Ooh, intrigue. He drives off the road to investigate the spaceship. For whatever reason, Brace is here?
Yeah, for some reason she pulls up like right behind him on the road. Like he already stopped his car and gets out.
Yeah.
And she, for some reason, also pulls up and is just like, oh my god, there's a crash over here.
Like, why
And
is she
think
there?
it's like a plane crash, which like, yeah, I don't know why she's there. But they're also like, oh, it's a plane crash. Like, what plane is that small?
Yeah,
first of
what
all?
plane is that size or shape or color? It's like red. It doesn't look good. It looks like really, really crappy, honestly. It looks like a children's toy that was scaled up because it literally is.
I mean, it basically is that later on because it shrinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because he shrinks it down so that they don't find it. Well, they do find it actually, but they can't really do anything with it because it just looks like a fucking toy.
Yes. So there's the alien in the bushes, and Brace, being obnoxious and whiny, throws her cigarette into the alien's eyeball somehow. I don't know how she does that, and I don't know why, but it lands in his eyeball, and then he like takes it out, and it ends up on the ground with alien residue all over it. Sure.
Yes, that'll be important later.
Yes. So Tim finds the spaceship, which the alien has just shrunk now, like it's just toy-sized. And he takes it back, and the alien's like, oh no, I gotta get that back. I gotta turn into Christopher Lloyd and get that back. As you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because we see him take the item from his belt and he becomes a human suddenly. Which we'll learn more about that later. But yeah, he just gets into... He turns invisible and just gets into Tim's trunk.
Yeah. As you do, I guess. And then Brace is like, well, I'm leaving. And I'm like, good fucking riddance. And
Unfortunately, she will be here for the rest of the movie.
yeah, unfortunately, she's here for a while. But, so Tim goes to his house, which they call an apartment, but it's definitely a house.
Yeah, no, it's a two-story house with a garage.
Yeah. And a hot tub in the backyard.
Convince me otherwise. And a hot tub, yes. Actually, it's on like the patio.
Yeah. He lives alone.
Yeah.
What do you even need all this space for? Much less, how can you afford it?
Yeah, like I know he's a newscaster, but I don't know if he can if you get that much. Well, he's not even a reporter. He's just like
He just feeds her the lines.
he's like the production assistant or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know. But he meets the neighbor lady, Mrs. Brown or whatever, and the alien, which was hiding in his trunk, just goes inside of Tim's apartment house and trespasses for a while before Tim bonks him on the head with a golf club.
Yeah. Yeah, because after he gets some brownies from the neighbor, he heads into like Tim does, and he hears all the like. There's some kind of weird fucking figurine that Tim has that just like constantly like hypes you up for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a bobblehead of a president, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just like constantly would be like, it's like a yes man figure is what I called it, because it's just like you're gonna do great, you're amazing, or something like that.
Yeah, it's so strange. Why would an adult man have this?
I don't know. I don't know if Tim. Do we classify Tim as an adult? I don't know.
I mean, he's supposed to be the straight man character.
Yeah, but he also, like, when he realizes later on in the film that Martin is hungry, he's like, oh yeah, ice cream. That'll fill you up.
Yeah,
like, what?
He's just like, oh yeah, people eat it for breakfast here. Like, you shouldn't, though.
No, they don't. No, the fuck they don't. But yeah, he smacks him over the head with the golf club, and he like bends one of the antennas, which is what makes him invisible.
Yeah.
So he like short circuits and just falls down the stairs.
Falls down the stairs. And then the suit comes off of the alien, and is sentient. This is a big thing that recurs in the movie. Oh yeah, also the alien knocks out Tim.
Yes, because while he's chasing around the suit, the Martian gets back up and just smashes a vase over his head to knock him out.
Yeah. So he, the alien that is naked because the suit just ran off of him, is like, oh no, somebody's at the door, because somebody's at the door, and it's Tim's coworker Lizzie, who is his love interest later on, even though they have like zero chemistry.
For real, it's really forced.
It's really forced. And also, did you notice something about her voice? Like, she sounds sick. She sounds like she's losing her voice in every scene that.
Yeah, she kind of does. Not gonna lie, I don't know if that's just the actress or if that's just like if that was like a directional choice or something, but
it sounds like she's like losing her voice. But like every single line she has is just like, "You good?" But yeah, the alien shapeshifts into Tim, which I guess he can do.
Sure, as you do.
He does this once in the movie. No, he doesn't. He does it later on. My
no,
bad.
he does. He does it later on,
But
but like he just like touches his finger to like Tim's forehead, and just I guess absorbs his DNA or something. He's an anamorph now, I guess.
Oh
I don't
God, no!
know.
Don't associate this movie with that amazing series.
I know.
So he answers the door as Tim, completely nude, and Lizzie is like, "Oh no, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Oh, let me put clothing on," and he puts the suit on, and she's like, "Are you a Trekkie?" And I'm offended. I like Star Trek, and no,
This man does not represent us.
does not represent us.
So yeah, he tries to talk to her, but he doesn't like know shit about like Tim, so he just kind of fumbles around for a minute until he just decides to kiss her for some reason.
Oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. It's like, it's the grossest kiss I've seen in a movie. It is, what?
Yeah, it's like he's trying to eat her mouth.
Yeah.
That's how he kisses her.
It does look like that. It does look like very weird. It like, oh God. So
But it turns her on for some reason. it
yeah,
seems
she's like into that, I guess. Which, oh my God, men writing women. Girl would actually
Yeah.
run. Girl, she should run.
Yeah, instead she like goes outside and is like all like and like slides down the stairs
Yeah,
all
like, oh my God.
smitten and shit. It's like,
No.
what is wrong with you?
No. This movie does not know how to write women because we have the neighbor lady who is poorly written, and way too into Martin, sorry, and Brace, who's a bratty, obnoxious bitch, and Lizzie, who is the one-dimensional love interest girl. So yeah,
Hooray.
hooray.
Yeah, so then we go back to the crash site, and the government, or NASA, or whoever, is at the crash site, and they're examining everything there. This one scientist, I forgot his name, he comes back like several times, but I never really caught his name.
I completely also did not get his name.
But he's played by, what's his fucking name? The guy that's, hold on, pull it up, Wallace Shawn. He's played by Wallace Shawn, and if you don't know him, he's in a lot of Disney projects as far as, usually as a voice actor. You probably know him best as, the dinosaur from Toy Story.
Oh yeah,
T-Rex.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But he's there and he licks the fucking cigarette
Yeah, oh my God.
that has all this like alien slime on it. He licks it and is like, "Ah, yes, alien slime," or
Yes.
whatever.
He's like, "This is alien slime." Like, what the fuck is this movie? Okay, whatever. Tim wakes up. Oh, we cut back to the apartment house. Tim wakes up. He's on the ceiling. And the alien keeps just like yeeting him between the ceiling and the floor, just like up, down, and he's just like, "Oh my God, my back." And so
Yeah.
So in the apartment, the spaceship goes back to its normal size. So property damage.
Hooray. Add it to the crime list.
Added to the crime list. And then the alien says, "Blasted sand particles. They completely crystallized the vortex generator." And I wrote, "Okay, Geordie LaForge," because that is some Star Trek level technobabble.
Yeah. You see, it's the real thing is that Martin's just Anakin in disguise. You know, he hates sand.
And oh yes, okay.
It gets everywhere.
Yes, coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. Damn.
But he finally now explains what he is to Tim and introduces Zoot, the suit, which is the little silver living suit that he has.
Yeah, sure, why not? I hate this suit. I hate this suit a lot. But okay. So then Miss Brown, the neighbor lady, she shows up again, and Tim basically has a nervous breakdown. The suit talks, and the neighbor lady does not care or notice at all. Like it's talking, and she's just like, "Anyway, hello, Christopher Lloyd," and he's like, "My name is Martin," and she's like, "Cool," and she's like really into him.
Yeah, and isn't this the scene where he like licks her hand?
Yes,
right?
it is. It is. So Tim has like a nervous breakdown. He's like, "I don't know what the fuck is going on," and then Martin just
yeah, because he's trying to be like, "Oh my God, come here! Look at this! Look at the spaceship that's in my living room." And she, of course, is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah. So then Martin licks her hand, and she's into
they're,
it.
like flirting, and he's like, she like offers her hand to him or whatever, like I guess to kiss it, and he's like he just licks it, but she's into it, yeah.
Yeah, for real. What? Yeah, this movie is so weird. Like, go to therapy, girl.
Her and Lizzie.
Yeah, for real. So Tim is like, "I'm gonna help you figure out how to get the materials you need to get the hell out of here." And they don't give him shoes. I don't know if he realizes. He's walking around barefoot. Like,
With the Martian.
yeah,
Martian is?
yeah, Martin is.
I did not realize that.
They're just like, "Well, he's just like, I want to help you, but I'm not going to give you shoes."
I mean, I know he gets sandals later on when they give him like human clothes.
Yes,
Finally.
they do. He does get, I believe so. I don't fully remember, but just for the Ace Hardware scene, barefoot, whatever, he makes the guy's newspaper explode inconspicuously.
Yeah, because as they're leaving the store, the guy like makes him like, "Oh my God, haha, were you from Mars or something or whatever?" And he like takes offense to that, I guess, despite actually being from Mars, and just blows up his newspaper with his mind powers that I guess he has. I don't
know how this works, but okay. And then they go into...
Oh, and Martin also brings up about a old Martian scientist that went missing on Earth, apparently.
Yes.
Like many years ago, so that's important for later too.
His name is Nienert.
Yeah, Nienert.
This movie is so stupid. So then they go into a clothing store, and an extra walks past, and the camera zooms in on her boobs, and I wrote, "Classy. Fuck this movie." So this movie's like pretty like weirdly sleazy for a movie that's like kind of a family movie in other ways. Like, I don't know what's going on, but Martin changes clothes into like this hideous ensemble. It's just like an Adam Sandler fit with a fisherman hat.
Because it's like the fisherman's hat with like a Hawaiian t-shirt and like cargo shorts. And also the Zoot gets like jealous of him wearing other clothing.
Yes. And so,
like they're dating or something.
yes. And then Zoot gets so mad that I don't know what the pronouns are of this.
I don't know what the pronouns are of this animate suit that we have for some reason.
Listen. These are the questions that get brought up when you're talking about a movie this dumb.
No, it's a masterpiece. What are you talking about?
Zoot sexually harasses a store worker lady by like slapping her ass. And then whatever the fuck. Zoot comes out of the the changing room, that's the word I was looking for, and sees a sundress on a rack and is just like, oh my god, I love her, I'm in love with her now, and just starts like dancing around in full view of the public, and everyone's like, huh, okay.
Yeah. No one sees this somehow. No one at all sees this at all, I guess.
Not one person. Also, the CGI does not age well. I shouldn't need to say that because this movie came out in 1999, but like I feel like it's kind of low-hanging fruit to say CGI doesn't age well, but like a lot of this movie really banks on like, oh, this CGI is of the future, and it looked terrible 6 months later. Let alone 25 years later. But yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, but thankfully Martin notices that he's dancing in public, so he just he orders him to get into the bag, and he has like a whole like I don't wanna like bullshit scene where he's just being a brat. The suit, I mean, and it collapses into like this little belt piece on the suit, like it just folds up into the belt piece, I guess. I don't fucking know. And it spills out all the little gumballs that Martin has
all over the floor.
All over the floor.
And then this little kid, this annoying little shit, gets one of the gumballs and is like, I want the gumball. This is my gumball now. I found it on the floor. It's mine. And Marvin is like, okay, go away, you little shit. And he shows him his little his fucking tentacle tongue, which I hate.
Yeah, because he's like, he's the kid won't let go of the gum, so he just like scares the shit out of him, like by opening his mouth and like has like a 3-tipped tongue or whatever that comes out, like a tentacle, like you said. Yeah, it's
Demigorgon bullshit.
Yeah. And of course, Tim's like, why don't you let the little kid have some gum, man, or whatever. So he makes him try it.
Yeah, this feels like a bad idea in public. Like, I know they're in.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I know they go into the changing room to do this, but it's still not a good idea, I don't think. Yeah. Also, the gum is apparently called Nurplex for some reason.
Nurplex, because that sounds like an alien word. And we get the line from Martin, never mess with Venox 7, because because the gum that Kevin, who the fuck is Kevin?
Good question. Who is Kevin?
I don't know. I tried to say Tim, but who the fuck is Kevin? Okay. Tim is like, oh, I'll try this one or something like that. And Martin is like, you can't try that one. That one's Venox 7. Don't fuck with that shit. So there's some foreshadowing that there. And then we cut to the boardwalk.
Yeah. Oh, he does try a piece though, and it starts to like transform like his arm into like a tentacle or something.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, I guess each gumball is like a different planet, which is weird because he only has like 10 gumballs.
Yeah.
So they haven't gone very far, I guess.
I guess not. I guess I like how, you know, humble the space travel is in this movie. Like we've been outside of our solar system one time. You know, we're dabbling in it. We're getting there.
Bungling around space.
Hold on, I lost my place in my notes.
Now we're at the boardwalk.
Yes, we're at the boardwalk. Brace is giving a news report, and it's not going very well because the guy feeding her lines is shit at his job. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but Brace gets sexually harassed, and it's supposed to be funny because she's like a bitchy person, but like it's not, because regardless of how good or bad a person is, getting sexually harassed is bad and not funny. And I feel like this should be common knowledge, but apparently in 1999 it wasn't.
Yeah, no, not even like close.
Yeah.
To being common knowledge, I mean.
Yeah. So then Martin and Tim get to the boardwalk. Why are they there?
You know, because plot.
Plot needs them to be. Like, he has no reason. Neither of them have any reason to be there.
Like, unless he was trying to. Oh, I think he was trying to go there for the news, the news van, because he does try to he does steal the camera in a little bit.
He's been fired though. You don't go back to the place you were fired from.
Well, I guess he didn't want to buy a camera, so he was, even though he could buy all the Ace Hardware bullshit, I guess he couldn't afford a camera, so he's like, I'm just gonna steal it from my old employment, you know.
Yeah, which is a crime, but okay.
Yes.
And so Lizzie is trying to be like, hey, Tim, I need to see you for a sec. But as we can tell by ridiculous, stupid sound effects, Martin is hungry.
Yeah.
So Tim is like, oh, I know, you're starving, you need food, so I'll take you to an ice cream place.
Yes, that's clearly where you go when you need food, is you go to ice cream. That's the number one thing that fills you up in the morning. Ice cream.
In the morning, yeah.
America's favorite breakfast.
Because he says that, like, we eat this for breakfast. And at first, Martin is like, no, I don't want that shit. Gross. But then, Tim is like, just try it. And then he leaves him for a sec. They have a conversation about the previous night where things are like, do you know what the fuck happened? No, I don't know what the fuck happened. Do you know what the fuck happened? No, I have no idea. Let's kiss.
Yeah, for some reason she kisses him anyways after being like, because Lizzie's like, oh, I think we should stay friends. I don't think we should try to take our relationship to that level or whatever. And then she kisses him anyways. It's like, what are you on about?
I don't understand. So Tim talks to the guy who he was replaced by, and he's like, these words are way too big for Brace to handle. Why could you, why would you hire someone who can't say words? How hard is it to find a decent news reporter lady who can repeat words without fucking it up?
I feel like she was only hired because she's like the chief's daughter.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. So, oh yeah, this is the part, I don't know if you noticed this, but some government agents come up to Brace, talk to her about the alien situation, and kidnap her in broad daylight. But she puts a lit cigarette in her purse.
I didn't notice it was lit still, no.
No, she doesn't put it out. She puts a lit cigarette in her purse.
Because I know that the guy gets a lit cigarette to like do the DNA testing to like compare it, because for some reason they know it's her cigarette already that was found at the crash site, and then they like do the comparison later on in the film too, like to see like, oh, does this have alien DNA on it? No, it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah. So she gets kidnapped in broad daylight. Tim comes out of the van to see that everyone's gathered around the ice cream store. He's like, oh no. And he runs over.
Yeah, and we see the best scene ever, where Martin is making a bunch of ice cream just float around in public and just like floating it into his mouth and everything, and no one questions this. You're just like, wow, he really likes ice cream. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
And not one person is like, what? Like, everybody's just like, oh yeah, this is a normal occurrence. Yeah. Shouldn't he be trying to hide? Because the majority, like a large part of this movie, is him just not even trying to fucking hide and just being obnoxious and using his alien abilities and shit, like, in public. And, like...
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Also, like, I have to say, the Martian and the show, I was at least a little smarter, because also the Martian, the show, was an actual scientist, like, from his planet, rather than just some, I don't know, random schmuck or whatever the fuck Christopher Lord's supposed to be.
Just a guy.
Just a dude.
He's just a normal guy. But he knows a lot of technobabble. Is that just like normal for Martians to technobabble?
Maybe. I don't know. We don't really know what the fuck Martin did on his home planet in the movie, at least.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't fucking talk about it. He's just like, yeah, I'm a Martian anyways.
Yeah. So there's a pan that I thought was funny where it pans to an FBI agent dramatically licking an ice cream cone. And we learn more about this FBI agent later, but yeah. Later that day, Tim uses a camera hidden in a pen, to spy on Martin, who just technobabbles for a while. For a while.
Yeah, because he's like explains like, oh, I need to do this and this and this to repair my ship and all that.
And Zoot is like dancing in the washing machine.
Yeah, and like drinking Tide.
It's Downy, actually.
Okay, not much better, but still.
Because they have a Downy product placement. They say Downy the Hatch. You like this
gotta
movie.
Have the product placement. Yeah, it's fun. It's funny. It's silly. It's silly.
It's silly. So Tim is like, why don't you go, like, bathe in my hot tub? You know, the thing that I have as somebody who lives alone.
Yeah, someone who lives alone and works as a fucking production assistant in his apartment house or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be that he's...
Except he got fired, so he doesn't even work.
He says he got fired, yeah. So he doesn't even work there anymore. Now he's just... How is he plan to pay for that house?
I don't know. So, jarring cut to Brace being strapped to a table being interrogated by the government agents. Why do you need to be strapped to a table to be interrogated? She's not being experimented on. They're just, like, talking.
Well, you see, she might be an alien, though. So we can't have her... We have to have her strapped down. Because we can't possibly just, like, handcuff her or something.
And there's no possible way that an alien would be able to, you know, escape the restraints or do something else. Or use telekinesis, which is canon in this movie.
Yeah.
So she seduces the government agent, and then we cut to alien Martin messing around in a hot tub, and Tim just watches him on a ladder, and the neighbor lady is like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm watching my uncle in the hot tub. And she's like, oh, that's so silly.
Yeah, he's also recording this because he has like a little camcorder in his hand.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, what a weird she's like, oh, what a close family or something like that, I think she says. It's like, lady, what are you talking about?
Lady what? So that we go oh yeah, Tim's like, I'm going to bed, but Martin only sleeps for a few seconds, so Tim gets like no sleep. We go back to the boardwalk in the middle of the night for literally no reason. Then we cut right back to the basement, where finally something plot relevant happens, and Tim has the realization that he has Stockholm syndrome. I mean, he cares for Martin.
Yeah.
There is no likable qualities to this alien. And I say that as somebody who loves alien characters.
Yeah, I don't know really what makes him decide he likes him out of nowhere. He's just like, aw, look at you, Martin. What are you doing? And he's like, what?
I don't get it. This is Stockholm syndrome, but whatever.
I feel like it has to be. And he calls Lizzie and he like invites her over, but he says like some like easily misinterpreted lines. Where he's like, "Do you ever realize that suddenly that you care for somebody?" He's being super vague. So she's like, "Oh my god, he's talking about me."
Yeah. You know that moment when you realize that you kind of have Stockholm syndrome for the guy who lives in your house, so you call your crush? I don't get it. I don't get why he does this. Like, I don't understand the thought process.
Yeah, I don't know what she was meant to do for this, but oh well.
Whatever. So Martin is just being annoying, trashing the cabinets, more technobabble. He's like, I gotta get out of here by 9 p.m. tonight, or my ship's gonna blow up. Because now we have to...
Yeah, because apparently there was like some kind of security system that initiated when he landed in the atmosphere, when he crash landed into the Earth's atmosphere.
Right.
That will make the ship just explode after like, I think he said 48 hours or something like that.
Yeah. So, it gonna go kaboom. Oh no.
Hooray.
Hooray.
The two very good reactions. Hooray, oh no.
And that's our reactions to the movie, respectively.
Real.
So...
Oh, yeah, now he's, yeah, he drinks a lava lamp. He's also, like, gets really depressed at this time, Martin does.
Oh, this...
And starts literally falling apart.
Like, his limbs start falling off. And...
Yeah.
And this is the part where Brace is like, I'm here now. Like, she shows up, and she's like... and he thinks it's Lizzie at first, so he's like, oh no, I gotta hide all the body parts. And he does that, and he answers the door, and he's like, oh, Lizzie, oh, it's Brace. And she starts, like, seducing him so that she can get the tapes. Like, all she wants is the tapes. And, which she somehow knows that he has.
She also somehow knows that he has the Martian for some reason.
Yeah. And Martin, like, massages her?
Yeah, his disembodied arm, like, starts massaging her, and she's like, oh yes, Tim, like, please, deeper or whatever. And it's like,
I hate this a lot.
What?
Why even try to hide? You're only being hunted by the US government. So Tim goes to the bathroom to talk to Martin, and he gives unsolicited dating advice. Why does Martin care about this man's love life?
Yeah, because he claims like, oh, when I took your form the other day and I kissed Lizzie, I could feel the way you feel about Lizzie or something like that. It's like, huh?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
So like, I guess somehow he's in tune with the person's emotions when he like shakes their form, which doesn't make sense.
At all, but okay.
Especially if we're going by Animorph rules.
Yeah. Not Animorphs again. Don't bring Animorphs into this. No, you're fine. So Brace sees the alien on the TV and she's like, bingo. And I think that's literally what she says. And she gets the tapes and she leaves. And then Lizzie shows up looking like if the 90s were a person.
Yeah, also, why do people keep letting themselves into Tim's apartment?
Yeah, they keep just being like, I'm here now.
Yeah, because Brace did that earlier too. Like, she opened the door before he could get to the door.
Yeah, true.
And then in the beginning, before Lizzie like gets kissed by Martin, she let herself in with the little like hidden key that he has on his front porch, which also he also shouldn't have that because that's just asking to be robbed. But
also, I should.
Can a guy get some privacy?
There's also the fucking the neighbor lady who I guess is she the landlord or is she just his neighbor?
I think she's just his neighbor.
Okay, then why does she also just go into his fucking house, apartment, whatever it is?
Because everyone knows Tim's house is open to all, I guess. I don't fucking know.
It shouldn't be. There's an alien in it.
Clearly. He doesn't give two shits, clearly, for some reason.
Yeah, apparently not. So, Lizzie's like, what the fuck, Tim? What the fuck is going on? And he's like, oh, I know what will make this better. I will tell her that Martin is an alien. And she punches him in the nuts. And then she goes to leave, and then she sees the spaceship, and she's like, what? And then she goes inside of the spaceship with Zoot, I guess. And somehow neither Martin nor Tim notice this, and they shrink the spaceship.
Yeah, well, I think Zoot was like trying to fix the spaceship, which is why he was in there. Which I don't know how how a living suit with no hands is going to fix a spaceship, but sure. And
what else? They go to the news station. Martin and Tim go to the news station, and they have this movie's shitty attempt at a heart-to-heart before Martin puts himself back together, and they hatch a plan.
Yeah, because Tim finally confesses that he's like, I've been filming you, and I was going to report you to the news station and all that stuff.
But now I have Stockholm Syndrome, and I'm not going to do that anymore because for whatever reason, I think you're cool or whatever.
Maybe these two should have been the love interest, not Lizzie.
Disagree.
No.
Damn.
Come on, give us an MLM Alien X human romance. Come on now.
No, if you want that, all you need to do is go to Wattpad. You don't need a movie for that.
You're right.
Sure, it's all over there. Sure, that's the latest thing. We've moved on from werewolves to aliens.
Yeah.
As we should have.
It's My Favorite Martian /fic. That's the new. That's.
Oh, we're in hell. Oh, we've reached hell. See, I knew that was gonna show that you were gonna bring up those two together at some point. Anyway, so Martin confronts Brace, shapeshifts into her, probably the same way that he did with Tim earlier in the movie. Who I keep wanting to call him Kevin. Why do I keep wanting to call him Kevin? He looks like a Kevin, I guess.
Good old Kevin Daniels.
Good old Kevin Daniels. He just looks like a Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, so he tries to go out as Brace, but he's still wearing his clothes. So he's Brace, but he's dressed like Adam Sandler, like you mentioned earlier, basically.
Yeah,
he's just
she's
a really long t-shirt and cargo shorts or whatever.
Yeah, she's become a Hey Mom is lesbian. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And no one thinks this is weird. Like, oh, okay, she's fine. We'll just shoot it like this, I guess.
Yeah, I think at one point somebody's like, "What the hell is she wearing?" And they're just like, "It's Brace. Go with it."
Yeah, and they make him spit out his Martian gum because she can't have her gum while she's talking, So, oh no. And for some reason, he takes forever to actually start transforming, but they start the broadcast.
There's an exchange of lines that I thought was funny. She's an alien, and then the news reporter, the boss guy, goes, "That's not an alien. That's my daughter." Very good lines, people.
It's very much like those things where it's like, oh, that's not a toaster, that's my wife. Or whatever.
Yes,
you know?
That's not an alien. That's my daughter. No. But the tapes get mixed up, and honestly, there's so much screaming, I barely know what's happening here.
Yeah, so they swapped out the tape, and they made it instead to now where it's showing off the tanning competition tape, where she was earlier when she was talking to, like, the old people at the pier.
Yeah.
Who were in the tanning competition for some reason.
She was getting sexually harassed. That's the part from earlier, yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, because, like, the guy, like, does, like, that thing where you, like, move your pecs, like...
Yeah.
It's weird, like The Rock does.
Yeah.
But it's an old man, so it's, like, really fucking gross looking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It unsettles me. Anyway, we cut to the neighbor lady. Do we? Yeah. Did we cut to the neighbor lady yet, or did I miss?
No, I think that's a little later. Right now, they're still in the news station. While everyone's distracted by that for a second, they finally get the gun back, and he gets back to being Martin instead of Brace. Well, they had to stop by her changing room for some reason to do that, but whatever. Anyways, the scientist man from earlier. Wallace's character. Oh, this is where we have a wonderful harassment scene that I'm sure you loved so much.
Yes.
Yes, because he sees that she's tied up in her room, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna inspect her for evidence." And it's like, gross.
Gross, very gross.
Why did Disney approve that?
Why? But this is a Disney movie. I keep forgetting that. Oh my god. I'd rather be watching I-Man.
I'd rather be watching I-Man. I-Man. Give it 7 seasons, million episodes.
Oh man. There's an alternate universe.
Now we get to Mrs. Brown.
Oh yeah, now we cut to Mrs. Whoa, hello. Sorry, lost my ability to speak there. We cut to back to Mrs. Brown. She sells the spaceship at a garage sale. She's like, "Oh, this is cute. I can get a few bucks for this." But she, like, finds it in his house, and she, like, goes into his house and is like, this is so cute. I will sell this at a garage sale. Like, what the fuck?
Well, he did tell her, like, or she did tell him earlier, like, hey, anything you want to sell, leave it in your garage.
Oh.
Or whatever.
Okay.
But, like, also, it's just laying in the middle of the garage. It's not, like, in a box or anything.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of weird that she'd be like, oh, yes, this spaceship on the floor. This will be good for the garage sale. This must be what it's for.
Yeah, sure. So...
Also, put it in your garage is so vague, because, like, he probably has, like, tools and shit down there, too.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to sell that, you know?
Exactly. So, Martin and Tim are, like, right on the neighbor lady's trail, and here we go, this scene. So, there's a chase sequence, and Martin uses the shrinking remote to shrink the car and go into the sewer.
Yeah, which I didn't realize it was a shrinking ray. I thought it was just like, oh, that's a feature the spaceship has.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But no, he has a shrink ray, I guess, or whatever. So he shrinks their car, like, into the size of, like, a Hot Wheel, basically. And they drive through the sewer for a while.
Yeah, it's gross potty humor, but whatever. And then they end up in a toilet.
The scientist dude, like, sends a... they end up in the toilet, but the scientist dude, like, sends a fucking roto-rooter after them for...
And they drive through the sewers, and they end up in a toilet while the song from 2001: A Space Odyssey plays. No comment. So they... Yeah,
they end up in a toilet, and then they finally, like regrow and
back to normal size.
Run over a man, basically.
Yeah, they basically killed this poor guy who just starts cussing them out pretty much. And then Martin meets up with the neighbor lady and, like, bite kisses her. Again, it's this weird, like, it seems like it's like he's trying to eat her mouth and then, like, just goes into a kiss.
Yeah, for real.
It's so awkward. So Tim and Martin...
But he does get the ship back from them somehow.
Yes, they do get the ship back. So Tim and Martin talk for like 2 seconds before the government tranquilizes him. How did they know it would tranquilize him? He's an alien. Like, how would they know a tranquilizer dart would work on this guy? He's not from Earth, but whatever.
I didn't even think about that.
So they kidnap him, and the government also has the ship with Lizzie and Zoot now. Like, the government got that too.
Right.
And Zoot is being horny, hooray. And the government agents strap Martin to a table to experiment on him, and they remove one of his antennas. It's so gross.
Yeah, they just like immediately start like being like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take apart the alien.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What is wrong with like Hollywood NASA or like Hollywood government agents where they're just like, oh, an alien exists, we better fucking dissect it.
Yeah, for real. Just like, we gotta kill this thing now.
Yeah, like they can't, like no one in any movie ever is like, oh, an alien, we better like sit down and get to know it. They're like, no, we have to take it to the lab and cut it open.
Yeah, it's just, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy, Steven.
Yeah. Real.
So, so now it's infiltration time. Now we gotta break into the government lab, and we gotta get Martin the fuck out of there. Because the spaceship's about to blow up. We've got a ticking clock plot device, which I usually like a ticking clock plot device, but not in this case. And so the ship goes back to normal size. Zoot and Lizzie escape. Zoot has this fight scene with far too many terrible quips, and then gets shot. Like, oh no, oh no.
We're so emotional about the suit. We don't want the suit to die.
So.
But yeah. Then. Let's see. Yeah. So, but Zoot is able to crawl over to Lizzie, and he gives her the
Venox 7.
Xenox 7 gum.
Yes.
And she becomes like this big alien with like tentacles and shit.
This like green CGI abomination, which absolutely beats the shit out of the guards. And then she straight up eats a person and then turns back.
Yeah, I was gonna say she eats one. I put in my notes, that's cannibalism. There's no way around that.
Yeah, that's literally cannibalism. She straight up eats a person, and frankly, I have a million questions, but I don't want answers to any of them.
Yeah, well, my main question is like, when she turns back into a human, is she still digesting a person?
That's my question too, but I don't
think inside her body.
I don't think I want to know, if I'm being entirely honest. I don't like that. So Zoot goes into the gum dispenser, and we cut to the government agents again. Like, he goes into the belt thing that's part of the government. It's part of the gum dispenser.
The gun dispenser.
The government dispenser. Sure. So Zoot gets back on Martin, who is alive and conscious now, and now they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, so they get outside with the ship, and they have the alternator too from Tim's car, because they had a discussion that apparently a car alternator, a Earth car alternator, for some reason works the same way as whatever random gobbledygook that Martin needed to make his spaceship work again.
Yeah, sure. Why not, right?
You know. But then the scientist man, his name is Coli. I put that in my notes now. I didn't put that anywhere else.
Damn.
Anyways, Dr. Coli, he comes up to them with a gun and is like, I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna take the Martian with me or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, oh no, random psychic powers happen and his gun like flies away.
And plot twist, one of the government agent guys, the one who we saw eating ice cream dramatically earlier, is Nienert, the Martin's old friend whom he thought was dead, the scientist who got stranded here. So Martin and Nienert get in the spaceship. They fly off into space. The Coli, you said his name was?
Yeah, Coli. He takes, because Nienert spits out his Martian gum, or I guess his Martian gum to Actually, you know what? This part doesn't make any sense. I just thought about this.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Why would they even have Martian gum in the first place? If they want to look like a Martian, they can just not have gum.
Yeah, because he spits out the gum, which is what made him look like a human. But Coli takes it, and he's like, ah, yes, Martian gum or whatever, and he starts chewing it, and he turns into a Martian.
Sure. It doesn't make
Which
sense.
doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't make any fucking sense in the slightest.
I did not realize that plot hole until just now.
So, then we cut to Tim's TV, and Brace is like a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist, as we find out on the news report. And
Yeah, she's literally wearing a tinfoil hat.
yeah, for real. And Lizzie and Tim confess their feelings to each other. They say like she's like, "Do you want to be friends?" And he's like, "I have enough friends." And I wrote, "You have one." And he's from space.
Do you have any friends? I've never seen you interact with anyone else in this movie.
He has one, and he's from space.
He has one, and he's from space, and maybe the neighbor. I don't know.
I don't really think
That's
the neighbor
debatable.
counts. He doesn't seem to like her very much, but
True.
But yeah, he's like, "I have enough friends," and they start making out. And then Martin shows back up again, and he's like, "I'm living with you forever now." And Tim is like, "No." And the movie ends. The movie ends with Martin going, "Yay, Rocky Road."
Yeah, because he just gets out. He goes and raids the freezer. And he's like, "I want ice cream," and he just starts chanting "Rocky Road, Rocky Road," and just going like
So
a fucking
bad.
crackhead.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, and actually, the last shot to me, with the fucking ridiculous thing is that the last shot is Zoot reading a goddamn Victoria's Secret magazine.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't have that in my notes, but yeah.
That's the final shot of the movie.
And then it's
He's reading
over.
Victoria's Secret while he's like in the washing machine, I guess, taking a bath. I don't fucking know what he does in there.
And then we're done.
I don't think we want to know what he does in there. I don't think we want.
I don't really want to know either, but we're done. The movie's over. Hooray!
Yeah, this was
Something.
yeah.
I had fun. I'm just being a bitch, really. Like, I'm just being mean to the movie, but like I had fun with it. I really did. I enjoyed myself. There was points in the movie that were bad, but I think overall it was a fun time. It's a recommend if you like, silly garbage, and yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun if you just like silly garbage that you don't have to think about too much, because I'm realizing now that the more you think about it, the less things that make sense. There's a lot of plot holes in this.
A lot of plot holes, a lot of nonsense, but if you don't really want to think about it too much, it's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's really our fault for thinking about it. But yeah, this is a silly movie, and I had fun with it.
Yeah. What I want to know is like, what the fuck is gonna happen to Dr. Coli now? Is he gonna be dissected? Is he gonna die because he looks like a Martian now?
Yeah, all I would need to do is spit out the gum, but like, I don't know.
But he doesn't do that. He's just like, no, wait, I'm not a Martian. I'm a human, and they just take him away.
He's like, no, and then they take him away. But yeah, this is a film.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
yeah.
that a lot.
I said all I really need to say about the movie. All I really have to say about it.
Yeah, yeah. But hopefully, if you want to check it out, go ahead. It's on Disney Plus, believe it or not, and
Sure is.
it's a ridiculous time.
Yep.
And if you don't want to check that out, you can also check out the next thing that we're gonna be covering next week, which is the absolutely crack-fueled musical, The Apple.
I love The Apple. I cannot wait to talk about The Apple. I've seen it before, like twice. So yeah, join us next time for that.
Yeah. But until then, give us a follow here on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, wherever you're listening at. And do, of course, give me also any recommendations you may have. You can email them to me at broadcastfromelsewhere@gmail.com. But until next time, this is Enigma.
This is DL.
And we're signing off.
Bye.